Welcome to the Pretty Confident Podcast, where we embrace authenticity, own our worth, and build unshakable confidence. I'm your host, Sierra Renee, so let's dive in. Hello, beautiful people. We are back with another podcast episode, so you know what that means if you are listening to this bright and early as soon as it drops. It is Tuesday at 8 a.m., okay? And if you are watching this as soon as it drops, hot off the presses, okay, you are on YouTube and it dropped at 5 p.m. If you are listening to this or watching this on any other day other than Tuesday and Wednesday, thank you so much for tuning in and keeping up with the episodes. Now, we are almost at 100 episodes, so if you are new here, you got almost 100 episodes to go, listen back to, watch, whatever the case may be, because I went visual last year, actually, around episode, I don't even know anymore. I don't think it was episode 50, but anyway, it was around episode 50, I believe, because I started uploading the audio around the first of the year this time last year, and that was episode 51. So maybe it was around episode 75 or something. I don't know, you guys. But anyway, at some point, I went visual last year at our 1 year anniversary mark. So whatever episode number that was, you have some episodes to watch. And then there's more than 100 episodes by now, or at least 100 episodes by now to listen to. There's some audio on YouTube from 51 all the way up until I went visual, and then all audio platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio has all the audio. Okay, I am so happy to be here, you guys. I just feel so refreshed. I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning. Did everything I needed to do. If you guys remember, one of my goals for 2026 was to establish routines, morning routines, night routines, whatever routine I need to establish to make sure I'm being good to myself, taking care of myself, showing myself some love and my baby some love, because I do have a belly routine for my baby so that we can connect, for me just rubbing and making sure, one, I don't get stretch marks, but two, just taking that time to really try to connect with her. And a lot of people may not know what that means, because I didn't know what it meant before I got pregnant. But if I could just massage her, let her know that I'm here, because I found myself, touching and rubbing my stomach from time to time during the day. But really taking that time to not only nourish myself, but also feel that connection with her is just so amazing. So I do have a belly routine that's incorporated morning and night. Okay. But then I do, kind of just rub my stomach and feel her throughout the day. So yeah, so just routines to make sure I'm not rushing, to make sure I always look put together, to give myself self-care, self-love, showing myself that, because a lot of people, they always expect other people to treat them with care, to treat them with self-respect, but you're not even showing yourself that. So it all starts with numero uno, you, okay? So the love you want other people to show you, the care you want other people to show you, the respect. Ooh, the biggest thing is respect. The respect that you want other people to show you, you need to be showing yourself that. Because if they can see that you disrespect yourself, if they can see you don't really care about yourself, if they can see you play about yourself, they're going to play, disrespect, and not care for you either. Because it's well, you don't even stand by your own standards that you set for yourself, so why should I? Right? So if you really want people to abide by what you set in place, make sure you are doing those same things for yourself. Obviously, there are some things that we need other people to do for us in certain times, but the number one thing when it comes to how people treat you, they're going to see how you treat yourself and go by that. All right. So I have just a couple things I want to talk about today, just based on what I've been seeing on social media and all this, that, and the third. But honestly, how are you guys doing? I feel like it's already been a month into the year and we are still in the second or third week of January. By the time this one is dropping, I'm just whew, can January get itself out of here? Which I feel like every year, January is the longest month, and then somehow we end up right back because the rest of the year goes by so fast. I don't know. But honestly, it's just been a crazy couple weeks. I've had a lot of things to do as far as my pregnancy. And I've just been keeping myself busy almost every single day. Aside from work, there's personal stuff that I've wanted to achieve. And you guys know, if you watched my first couple videos this year, about my quarterly planning, my goals that I have set, and then like what I'm doing on a weekly basis to kind of achieve that. Because if you can't maintain or do it on a weekly basis, then maybe it's something that you need to kind of break down even more to see what you can do to kind of lead up to that success, right? So that is something that I have been working on, creating morning routines, night routines, establishing routines in general. Editing about 15 minutes a day because y'all, like I told y'all before, I have been behind on uploading when I already have the video recorded, or I have been behind on recording because I'm doing something else, or I'm not, allotting time to specific crafts. Like there's stuff that I do on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube personally, for my personal content, and then obviously my podcast. Now my podcast, I definitely need to have time set aside, whereas with my TikTok and just stuff that I do, like my content creation, just wanted to make sure that was connected, but my content creation, I can do that while I'm getting ready. Like I just prop the phone up, press record, and I do my makeup and then head out the door to work. Like there's nothing that I have to set aside a time for things and content like that. But for my podcast, I need to have the time to sit here, not be distracted, and talk to you all. So, just making sure I'm using my time wisely. People always say like, oh, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Do you truly not have enough time because you're so busy and so consumed with so many other things? Or do you have time that you can't even see? Right? Like you're doing so many other things that are irrelevant to your purpose of what you set for yourself. And that's what's taking time, or that's what makes you feel like you don't have any time, because there's so much time in the day, depending on what time you wake up, what time you go to bed, what you are consisting your day in between those two things of doing. But if you're not allotting time to your purpose and what you are trying to be aligned to do, because like I told you all before, if you set a goal for yourself, what does your life habits look like now? Because you're not just going to achieve something just because you said you wanted to achieve it. There are things in your life that you have to change so that that goal can fit into your environment. If you are not changing your environment to make that goal fit, to make that goal stick, to make that lifestyle fit, then it's either going to come and go, or you're just never going to achieve it, because there are things that you are not looking at and paying attention to that you need to fix in order to achieve that goal. So that is one of the biggest things that made me want to do quarterly planning instead of just a vision board or a bingo board, is really taking the time to see what am I doing on a daily, on a weekly, on a monthly basis to help me achieve this. And I can really see the difference being like, I think by the time this episode comes out, it'll be 2 weeks since I've been doing this. But just from the first week of me doing the quarterly goal thing and planning out my week on Sundays, like, I was just looking at my planner and going through it like, oh my goodness, okay, I still have to do this, and this. Okay, was I not able to achieve this because of, a hard day at work, or did I just misplace my time? What time management skills did I either misuse or not use at all, that to, kind of equate to the fact that I did not achieve this, right? So it's a really good eye opener if you're really serious about, achieving your goals. So there was some things that I was like, okay, I wouldn't normally have thought about this to do this right now. I just would have said that this was a goal and tried to achieve it later on down the line. But no, I'm literally taking the time out of every single day to see, okay, what have I already done and what haven't I done that I said I wanted to achieve today, and then crossing it off. So yeah, you guys, that is one of the biggest things, is trying to change the formula of how goal achieving works for me. And you can use a lot of different methods. I told you guys this before. Now if this method doesn't work for you, try a different method. Not one method works for everybody. I'm just taking you guys along this journey because I tried a different method last year, which is the bingo board, and I just felt like, I don't know, I was so disconnected from it until it came time to talk to you all about it at the end of every month. And so it's just like, there was some stuff on there that I've had since the beginning of the year and I didn't even touch or get close to doing. So I definitely want this year to be a lot better, a lot different. So this is the method I'm going to choose. And like I said, you can either follow along and do it with me, or you can just watch my journey as it goes and, do something else on the side. And if you think that it becomes, plausible for you at the end of the year, then, that's probably something that you can do in 2027. But yeah, you guys, so let's go ahead and get into today's episode. Today's episode is about infidelity. Infidelity. I have been seeing it all over my timeline with different creators, with different people, with people coming out with different stories. And I'm just like, why is there so much infidelity? You have a choice to be with somebody whether you want to or not. And if you are choosing to be with somebody, please be with them like 100%. Don't be with them just for the sake of being in a relationship, but still wanting to be single on the side. Once you commit to somebody, once you say like, yes, I'm your significant other, yes, I'm your boyfriend, yes, I'm your girlfriend, be true to that. There is too many people, especially in this day and age. Like, I just look at the dating pool and I'm just like, ooh, I'm glad I got out of there almost 4 years ago. Like, thank God I'm married, because Lord have mercy, I already know what it's like being in the dating pool. There was no candidates that I even thought about till I got on a boat and met my husband. It took me going out the country to meet my husband. That is how serious these people aren't. Like, the dating pool is just so sucky, and I just feel like everybody is just so hurt, so sad. And if I could fix that for everybody, if I could fix that for just one person, I'm just like, yes, love story here, love story there. But it's just people have responsibilities and take different actions based on how they're feeling and what they want to do. But when you start to understand that enough is enough, I feel like some people get into these situations, and I'm never going to condone infidelity whatsoever. Like, I was just listening to a podcast a few weeks ago on B. Simone's Let's Try This Again podcast, and she had a guest on there, and I instantly stopped listening. Like, first off, when y'all hear some BS, some bullshit, okay, and you don't agree or it doesn't align with who you are and what your morals are, remove it. Because I feel like a lot of people will have these standards. A lot of people will have these morals. A lot of people will go by, certain rules that they have for themselves. And because they heard somebody else's thought process on a matter, they actually start to question their own morals. They start to question, their own standards. And then they start to falter on certain stuff. And then you start accepting less than what you actually deserve. So I heard she had this one guest, okay, and it was very early in the podcast episode where she said her husband was cheating on her. And I think at the time they were just boyfriend and girlfriend, but I think at the time they were boyfriend and girlfriend, and he was cheating on her, and she found out about it and she stayed. And now they're married. You will never, ever catch me in that type of predicament. And there's a lot of people out there that says, oh, don't judge, because at some point that could be you. Why would I actively stay in a relationship with somebody who cheated on me and then turn around and marry them? I already know that you're capable of infidelity. Everybody is capable of infidelity, but if you cannot show me the highest level of respect at the level of boyfriend and girlfriend, what am I telling you by accepting that behavior when I agree to marry you and take your hand in marriage? Like, what type of precedent is that setting? And then when we have kids, like, I am a true believer in lead by example. I will never want to be a hypocrite to my children, because it's like, oh, well, mom, you're telling me this, but I've seen you do that. That is going to be one of the most terrible moments in my whole entire life. If my child ever points out, okay, an act, a responsibility, or something that I am telling her to do that I am not doing, or I am telling her not to do, but I am doing. Like, a lot of people say, oh, well, you should do, like my parents, you should do what you're told, not what you think. Well, they're also going to go based off what they're seeing. So not only as, do as I do, or do as I say, not as I do, that's not teaching them any good qualities, okay? Because all that's to say is, okay, just to appease you, I'm not going to do this, but based on your actions, it's okay for me to. So it's just, I don't know. it, what type of example is that setting for the kids? Because I feel like as a father figure, if you are wanting, like, especially if you have daughters, like, I feel like it's always different when a guy has a daughter or a guy has a son. But if you have a daughter as a male and you're now her father, once she gets into this world, and you want her to be treated like a princess, with the utmost respect, and, marry the best guy in the world for her, but you cheated on her mother. So you're wanting her to date a man or, end up marrying a man that's nothing like you. Like, yes, people can change, whatever, but that will never change like a scar deep down in my heart that makes me think, like, I will never be able to trust you again. Because even as, you guys know from my previous episodes, if you've been here, you guys know, even in my previous episodes, I can't even trust friends. Once they break my trust, like, I trust people to a fault whenever I know you at first, because I'm the person that, I will give you my trust until you break it. And then once you break it, it's going to be damn near impossible to ever get that trust fully back like you had it before. So you're wanting a man to treat your daughter so well, not cheat on her, not do anything, and you're wanting your daughter to understand her worth and not accept the man that cheats on her or anything. But you weren't able to even do that for her mother. So how could you as a man want that for your daughter when you weren't even able to uphold that and give that to her mother? So it's just like, it's hypocritical at every stage, regardless of how you look at it. And so when I think of stuff like that, it's just like, why are we, I feel like women, men, why are we so, or why are y'all, because not me, but why are people so hell-bent on taking the worst of the worst? Like, I heard one person say on my timeline that she was talking to a guy and they were just like homegirl, homeboy, like no, sexual relation or whatever. They were just homeboy, homegirl. And he spit some game. He was like, us men, we know that 90% of you women that have high standards, that have high, dating standards, whatever, in a man, y'all don't stick to that. He said, because y'all'd rather be with somebody. Majority of the time, women would rather be with somebody than the man that they want to be with. And that's based off their standards. Y'all rather take something less than wait for somebody to give you everything and more. And so I felt that 100% because that resonated with me, because I was dealing with somebody that wasn't even giving me half of the things that my husband is giving me now. And because I decided to walk away before I got too engulfed in that relationship, too engulfed in that predicament that I was in, and always feeling, unworthy, always worried about, when is he looking at somebody else? Am I the girl that he wants? Am I his type? When you have to think and worry about all of those things, you are not with the right person. They are not, they're not boosting they're not worried about your confidence with them. And yes, I say confidence because if you're confident about who you are and the person that you are with, you are not worried about all these other things. Like, we go on cruises and I don't care about whatever girl tries to walk up to my man, because I am confident in and of myself that I know he's going to come and tell me, and he's going to handle the situation in and of its own. But it becomes a problem if you see your person entertaining somebody or flirting with somebody in front of your face, or you hear about it secondhandedly. Right? So it's just, you have to stick with the standards. But when I decided that enough is enough and I'm done with this type of, confusion in my head, because I was so jumbled up looking back over how much time I spent with this person, and not 1 second was I ever adamant about where we were, that we were on the same page, and that we understood the same thing. I was just accepting less due to 1, time, and 2, because of who the person was. Now, if I think about it and I'm like, oh my goodness, if I would have stayed just because of how long I knew this person and how manipulative this person was, my life would not look like how it looks now, because I would have missed my mark with the love of my life now, my soulmate, my everything, my husband, and we never would have kicked it off. We never would have, there's just a lot of nevers that would have happened if I would have stayed with this other person. But I feel like a lot of women get so tied up in the, oh well, I've been with this person for this amount of time and I just can't leave now, and oh, I've devoted this, or I built him up, or he built me up, and I just gotta stop. Because at the end of the day, you are hurting your future. And the thing that this man is counting on is that you don't leave, so that he can keep feeding off of whatever you bring to the table, or your delusion of this may change, or the fact that you've accepted that it won't change and you're just here out of complacement. But had I not left when I did, it would have been super quick that I wouldn't, like, that would have defaulted and derailed the course that I went on in meeting my husband. So I was bold enough to say, okay, enough is enough, because I haven't held up the standards that I set for myself, and I'm letting this person bypass all the the manufacturer settings that I have for myself. And because I let him bypass it, he's never going to change, because I accepted him for less than what I wanted. So why would he give me more of what I want when he know I accepted him for less? It's not going to happen. And that's how maybe most guys and most females may be, because the roles can always be reversed. I never want to only talk about boys are this, boys are that, but I'm only going to understand from a female standpoint that boys will do this, because I've never dated any girls. So if you've dated some girls, if you're a guy that's listening, if you're a girl that's listening, and you've dated girls that, have the similar characteristics or displaying the same things, this message fits. So, had I not left, I would have been sticking with something that was less than what I wanted, less than what I knew I deserved, and then not meeting my husband. And so since I left, I was able to find, and I did not falter throughout that journey of, trying to date, finding somebody. I ended up finding somebody that never asked me that, why is this? This is too much for me to meet. At times it may have been too much for my husband to meet, but he looked at himself and he said, okay, what do I need to change within myself to make sure I am still meeting this expectation? To make sure I don't, speak too soon or give her a mouthful of words that I never intend to uphold. How do I change certain things to make sure I'm still doing better for her? And I do that for him as well. What am I doing? And I always have check-ins. That's another thing. Have check-ins with your partner. Ask them, is there anything that I can be doing currently in this current season for you to make sure that you still feel loved, supported, and nourished? Okay, because I feel like that's another reason why some relationships may go astray, because you're not checking in with your partner, because you don't know who your partner actually is in this moment, in this time, right? So it's just a lot that goes into relationships. And I feel like if you're not serious about actually wanting to get to know somebody continuously, because it's not just, I hear a lot of people that, oh, I didn't get to really know him before. You always are going to have to get to know somebody, especially when you guys are in relationships, because you don't stay the same as who you were when you all met. And that's one of the things for real that I've seen on content pages, like couple content pages, is, these two creators that are now filing for a divorce. They've been together for, I think 16 years. I think 16 years is the timeline that they showed us. And, at the end of this marriage, she filed for divorce due to infidelity. Now, he put out a statement and said, I talked to her about this. I brought it up to her last year about separating, that I wasn't really in it. We tried to reconcile this, that, and third. And ultimately, it led to me making some other decisions that I'm not proud of. Now, I am not a big fan on couple pages. Like, yeah, I'll watch it here and there, but there are some people that are so fiend out for couples. It's just so weird. And I've never understood the ideology behind being so engulfed into somebody else's relationship. Like, I've never been engulfed in it personally, just with small people, around me that I know. And so I just don't see myself ever, and I've never seen myself ever want to be engulfed in a celebrity's relationship. Like, I've never, like, when I thought about back to it, when I was thinking about doing this episode, I was like, I've never been so engulfed in another person's life, especially celebrities or influencers, to say that, oh my goodness, this is what happened, you're wrong, and this is that. We do not know these people. We only know what they show us. And so I never liked the woman. I never liked the relationship anyway. Just based on what they were putting out there. She's annoying. She's always flipping off stuff. She's always running in public when trying on shoes, flipping around, pranking him, being overly dramatic like at times. And I just feel like if y'all had been together for 10 years without social media and he's got to know you behind camera, obviously, because y'all have been together for a decade, and y'all have now 2 kids or 3, I don't know. See, that's how unengulfed in these relationships and accounts that I am. But y'all have these kids. He's gotten to know you over this time, of course, without social media. I feel like once somebody gets a hold of status, especially social media, especially influencing based on just like a mere few videos that they may have did that caught the public eye, some people it could get maddening, and they could want to continue to make the same type of videos for the appeal to the audience that they now have curated. But I feel like if she wouldn't have done that majority of the time, or it was just here and there, maybe some feelings would have been different, because I've seen his reactions in certain videos, or the just ridiculous fake laugh, because I'm like, there's no way he laughs like that for real. And I can just tell that, he just seemed so, just based on what I saw, he just seemed so like just dumbfounded. Like, did you really just do that? I saw her smacking stuff out of his hand, slamming stuff out of his hand, jumping on him, flipping, and it's just like, it's so And like I said, if you're coming from having a relationship outside of the public eye, and now even going out in public with you can be embarrassing, because I don't know what you're going to do. And you just flip out of nowhere and then start running, taking off running in stores with try on shoes on. It's just a lot. And so, not saying that I condone the infidelity of whatever, because, some people say it's infidelity and everybody jumps to the latest, the farthest thing, oh, they had sex. Maybe they didn't have sex. Maybe he was just, emotionally connected with her, or emotionally cheating. It is so many different avenues to cheating that, one, if you're not careful, you can find yourself in that predicament. But 2, it's not always the deepest end of, oh, he had sex with somebody else. So first off, let's get that under control. But everybody is just so, oh, I'm with her. Even if you talk to her about it, that doesn't mean go and cheat. Yes, he could have filed for divorce. But at the end of the day, if she didn't sign the divorce papers, there's nothing else you can do. There's nothing else you can do. So if I've already told you about, where I stand in our relationship, we already tried to reconcile it, and you still want to stay. I don't know why she may have wanted to stay, but now she's kind of taking over the narrative of, oh, I filed for a divorce for him. But like I said, we don't know everything, and we don't know everything that happens behind closed doors, and we don't know them. We just know what they show us. So I just felt like that whole situation was kind of well, it's just a little annoying, because the man is always going to get bashed. And I'm not ever going to say that a woman needs to explain herself as to why her actions led him astray, because that's never going to be the case. A man will do what a man wants to do. Anybody will do what they want to do. So it's just do they have enough respect for you in the relationship to go about things the right way? And maybe he went about things the wrong way in the order of how they went, if what they say to us is true. Like I said, I take everything at face value, because behind closed doors, it could be a completely different story. So to me, it's just yes, infidelity is wrong. But 2, in a relationship, it takes 2, especially a marriage, especially people that are parenting children. You guys have to figure out what is the best for you. And if you guys decide that, okay, maybe we are at 2 different points in our lives, are you trying to, work it out so that things can go back to how they were? Or are you now trying to work it out to understand who your partner is in this phase of life? Because like I said, at this point, they said that they've been together since 2010. It's been 16 years. So you guys are not by any means the same person that you guys were at whatever the age they were. I don't know how old they are, but in 2010. And so with her like constantly doing the social media stuff, maybe that was a factor in it, that played into, him having fleeting emotions. But did you guys talk about this maybe behind closed doors and it just was never discussed? Did she keep going too far? Was it too much for him? Because if you're not on social media for 10 plus years, all of this social media attention can now be too much, especially for the person that didn't really want to be in the limelight. But now she's always making sure that the camera is somewhere where he's in the background. He always looks either disgusted or just like, really, bitch? Really? Like right now, right here, what are you like? This is what you're doing? Or just the blatant disrespect that she may not have done off camera, but she's doing for the sake of views, right? And so I feel like a lot of people don't see into these little things because these are microaggressions, right? Especially if you know that your partner does not like this, or especially if you don't know, but you didn't ask, if you didn't communicate this with them. There is a way to make sure that your relationship is still stable, even with social media fame, because I know my partner is shy of the camera. I know it. So I am not going to do anything where it makes him uncomfortable. It gives off that I'm disrespectful to him, or it gives off that I'm forcing him to be in anything that he doesn't want to be in, because that's so long. Like, I don't know how long they were doing social media, but that continuously for so long can be so detrimental to the person that never wanted this to begin with. Okay. And now you got them in a position where it's just like, oh, well, if I don't do this, they're going to think I'm a bad husband. There are so many people that depend on social media influence, and then that depend on the ideas and thoughts of their followers. So especially in a relationship, you want, whoever you're with, you don't want the people that like them around them to like you as well. So it's no telling how many compromises or how many sacrifices he had to make, for the relationship to work. And if they did have conversations behind closed doors and she wasn't able to budge on anything, may have led to a, crossroads where it's like, okay, either we fix this or we don't, and I leave. So it is what it is. But I feel like infidelity, there's so much that goes into it. And I just feel like if you want to leave, just leave. Stop staying with somebody just for the sake of staying with them because of how it looks aesthetically, how it looks, on the media. And I never finished my comment on the whole podcast thing when she was saying that when they were boyfriend and girlfriend, she stayed. And then, ultimately at the end, or at the tail segment of that story, because it was real early. Like, I don't even think I got like 5 minutes into the podcast, because when she was talking that bullshit, I said, yep, nope, this is not for me because this goes against my morals. She said that, when she was with him or whatever, and he was cheating with different females and this, that, and the third, and she knew about it. She felt like she had to stay because of everything he had going on, because his granddad or his dad had dementia. And so she was helping take care of him, and she just didn't want to leave with all this stuff that he had going on in his life. That's the other thing. You are staying with somebody based on their situation and what they have going on. You are not putting yourself first. To me, that just screamed like idiocy, because yes, he could have, some family issues going on. Yes, he can have some personal issues going on, but throughout what time did he ever consider me in that same regard when he was out cheating with multiple different women? So I just feel like women, we feel like most people, not me, most women feel like, oh, well, I still have to stay through this because he's going through the. What were you going through when you found out he was cheating? What were you going through before you found out he was cheating and he still decided to go do it? We do not hold ourselves to the same standards that we want to hold other people to. So it's stupid, because you stayed with somebody that you know was actively cheating on you because of what he was going through. If he had so much going on, he wouldn't have time to go out there and cheat. If he had so much going on, there would be more time for him to take care of his granddad or his dad, whoever had, the illness or whatever. So it's just like, you feel so sorry for somebody else who can give two shits about you, and they're still dogging you out, doing you dirty, because they could have left at any point. But because you're giving them this cushion and they see that you're giving them this cushion, they're going to allot time that they would take to take care of the things that you are now taking care of for them and going to do some other stuff with it that have no business being dealt. So I just had to turn that podcast off. Like literally, like now I want to go look, because I was like, after I heard that, I scratched my, she was like, oh, but God told me there's something bigger. There's only so many things God can tell you, and you actually take it and run with it, because he could have told you something else, or he could have said that same exact thing, but he could have meant something different. It's all how you interpret what he's saying. But I really need to hear, let me see. Can I just click on this without it playing? I really wish it would tell me like how far I got into it. But I was just like, this is not something I want to know about. Let me turn this down and let me press play. Oh, I got 23 minutes into it. I guess because at the beginning they always, like, they don't jump right into it, obviously. They get to talk about their past and a little bit of, what they do now, and then they get into the questions. But 23 minutes into it, and there's still an hour left of that podcast episode. So as soon as I heard that bullshit, I said, hell no. Click, moving on. Because that is not who I am, and that is not what I support, and those are not my morals. But had I sat there and listened to it, maybe I would have started questioning some of my morals. But if that is not what I'm coming across individually to make up by myself and be like, oh, okay, maybe I do need to reconsider this. Infidelity is not one of those things. Me and my husband agreed very early on in our relationship. If you ever cheat on me, if it ever comes a time to where you need to check my phone, or I need to check yours, or we need to swap phones and check each other's phone, I am done. I am done. There's no type of reconnection that one can do for us to make us feel better about a situation after one is cheated. Once you cheat, you have made a decision. And I think that's the other thing that she said in that podcast episode, where it was a mistake. Please. Because let you cheat on your man. He is gone, high tide, out of there. Because he knows he would not be able to sustain a relationship after knowing that information. And if he does, he's doing the same thing. And I just feel like if you do, you might as well do the same thing too. He's already disrespected you in the highest regard, as far as taking the trust that he had and leaving outside the house with that trust and still freaking with other females. So to me, she put him and the things that he had going on before herself. And I don't know, like I said, I still don't know who these people are. So maybe, but at the end of the day, when you explained it like that, because I tried to hear out her reasoning, and that was her only argument to why she stayed. Now we got some problems. I cannot listen to this, because this has nothing to do with what I align with. And that is perfectly fine, right? People can have difference of opinions, and I could still be a supporter. I could still be a follower. Like, even though B. Simone put this on her platform, I could still be a follower, even though I don't agree with the message. I'm not going to listen to the rest of the podcast, because that's not something that I find myself aligning with. But in the future, if you're talking about something else, as long as it doesn't equate to anything like that, accepting, less than what a woman deserves, I feel like any and every woman deserves a man that treats her right the first time. Once you treat me right the first time, so that you get me and you have this, veil over my face, then you're out there doing whatever the case may be under the sun, and then I find it out, the veil is gone. And now by the time you're treating me right again, I just don't know if that's true or not. Because are you trying to put the veil back over my face? Or are you just doing it to make up for the fact that you did X down the line? Like, see, like that's the type of stuff that I have, that I battle with. Like, I could trust, like I can not trust you, but I could forgive you for the act that you did, but it's still an act that you chose to do. Nobody forced you to leave the house, go to this other woman's house, fuck your brains out, and then try to come back home to me. Nobody told you to do that. It was a choice in how you felt. Now, it could have been a misguided choice based on what you were feeling in the moment. But I feel like if you were always looking for something or somebody to find attractive, that is your problem. That is your problem. I don't look to find anybody attractive outside these four walls that me and my husband live in. If I am actively looking to find other people attractive, that is an issue. That's the issue. A lot of people always go back and say, oh, I just wanted to see if I still have it. Why? Why? If you were with the person that you love, admire, uphold, want to show faith to, want to give all this, that, and that, why do you want to see if you still got, like, I've never understood that. And some people still have that ideology, but why do you want to have that idea of, oh, I still got it? Put those moves on your wife. Put those moves on your husband. Maybe you guys haven't been intimate as of late. Maybe you guys haven't spiced up the relationship. Try that stuff on them. But when you are actively trying to go out there as a married or coupled person, a person in a relationship, and you are actively trying to go outside of the relationship, outside into the world, to the club, to this, to that, and actively trying to make sure you can pull other females, that's a different type of issue. Because now you are looking to always be admired by other people. So, I don't know. To each his own, man. But to me, for real, infidelity, I just feel like if you don't want to be, if you want something different than what you're in the relationship for, or what you all agreed to the relationship for, you know, it's time to go. Stop overstaying your welcome. Okay, stop overstaying just because, oh, this person has this, that, and the third going on. Did they show you the same regards? And don't cheat just because this other person has so much going on, because there's going to come a time where you have a lot going on and they're going to have to take a back seat to whatever they have going on to assist you. But because you no longer align together does not mean that, okay, the relationship is truly dead. Does not mean that, okay, let me go cheat. If anything, that should be the number one cold quitter reason to not be in a relationship anymore. But I just cannot condone cheating. I cannot condone messages behind marrying a cheater. Like, you actively knew that this person was like this. Let that be somebody else's story, but you chose for it to be your story. So let it happen again. Hate to say, you know, you knew this before it happened. You knew it was a possibility. Like, yes, it's a possibility for everybody. But if this person can withstand whatever triggers, whatever pops up. So, I don't know, you guys. If you're a cheater and you feel like, you know, my message could be a little bit disarray, let me know in the comments. I mean, I'm curious. I truly am. I want to know why you think cheating is the best answer. Why you don't just leave when you feel like the relationship or whoever you're with does not serve you or does not please you or isn't the right fit for you anymore. And I just want to understand. No, I don't want to understand, but you can make your case anyway if you really truly feel like you need to. Okay, I just do not care to understand, because my ideologies and my husband's ideologies and our morals are the same. So that's all I'm worried about. But if you guys are not having the conversation, if you guys are not taking the time to understand what the person how the other person feels about a certain situation, that's your first downfall. Me and my husband have conversations about damn near everything, whether it's important or not important. A lot of y'all don't do that because y'all are scared to communicate. Oh, but I want to be in a relationship. How? When you can't even talk to the person about what probably matters most to you, even if it doesn't matter to them. That is what a relationship is. We are constantly changing. We are constantly evolving. Ask the person, what I do right now for you, what I did before, does that work for you now to this day? Because it may not. And because you're not taking the chance or taking the time to understand who your partner is, to understand how they've evolved, to understand who they are in this season, there's going to be some disconnect because you're going to be treating them based off of an old version that you used to know. But just like our phones get updated, people get updates too. People's attitude, people's vision on life, people's goals, people's purposes, those all get updated too. So using she's not like how she used to be, to me that says you didn't take the time to get to know who she was now. And vice versa, you didn't take the time to get to know who he is now in this lifestyle, in this lifetime, you know, in this season of his. So yeah, infidelity, it's a non conversation in my household. But to all the stuff that I've seen out there right now, like even the YouTubing people. I mean, I think the other girl had a boyfriend and she was caught on a date with a streamer kissing, and it was caught on camera. And then this one girl that he, has kind of made these dating allegations with is at home in her feelings and talking, oh, I don't want to talk about it. I mean, you shouldn't have to be the one to talk about it. But then she made a YouTube statement. Like, why are you the one trying to explain somebody else's actions when he's the one that took those actions and got caught on camera? You're kissing somebody publicly. I don't know. And I don't know the Love Island star of who he was kissing because I've been just out of the loop of Love Island for the past couple seasons. But if you have a boyfriend at home and you are out with another man kissing, oh Lord. Today's age is just lost on us, so eventually everybody's going to get tired and nobody's going to have anything to go home to because all of y'all are cheaters, kissing everybody in the mouth all over the place. If you want to be discreet about cheating, please be really discreet. But in a public restaurant, in the middle of the restaurant, kissing. You don't think there's going to be cameras somewhere that's going to catch y'all, whether it was intended to catch y'all or not? Whew, Lord have mercy. And I bet you this light bulb of a girl, this airhead of a girl is probably going to forgive him down the road. Like it literally repeats itself in every relationship. In every, oh, we're just friends. Oh, we're not taking it any further because he did this. And then, oh, we decided to become a couple. Like, it's literally so tiring and so annoying. And I don't know if that's why I don't know. I don't know. I can't say that that's why I stopped. Like, I've never been, I guess, hell bent on social media relationships or what. Because y'all take other people's relationships and y'all use that as a way to be, oh my gosh, like, I wouldn't do this, or I would do this, or girl, you need to do this because he did this. But you wouldn't do the same thing in your own relationship. Like, there's non-relationship, like people not in relationships giving it non-solicited relationship advice or what they would and wouldn't accept. You're trying to tell them what should work in their relationship and you're not even in one. Let's start there. Let's start somewhere. Okay. Let me stop. But yeah, it's just so weird to me. And it's just weird to me with to me, if you allow somebody to cheat on you, not allow, but if somebody cheats on you and you allow them to stay in your life to the degree that they were in your life before without any type of consequence or repercussions, low self-esteem, never going to get what she actually deserves. Not the woman that she wants to be. Never going to be the woman that she wants to be until she takes the steps to actually leave. That's what I think about it. So anyway, you guys, I love you all. I hope you guys are having an amazing January thus far. My wallpaper, the rest of my wallpaper, because I guess my fingers are swelling, you guys. My ring is hurting. But the rest of my wallpaper should be here today. And then I did buy like an artificial tree to go in here as well. So I can't wait to get some stuff up and running. I got my TV mounted on this wall. My parents, well, my dad and my husband mounted my TVs all around the house. Actually, there's only like one TV we still have to mount, but I'm waiting on a dresser to get in that room so that the TV can like be centered to the dresser. And then whenever my parents buy another TV, they're giving me one of their TVs, and then we'll play like kind of Ring Around the Rosie with the other TVs, and then that'll be the last TV in the guest room. That'll eventually be my baby girl's room. So things are coming together. I got some accent chairs for my living room coming. They should be here this week. Because now that the TV is mounted, there's like so much space. It looks so much bigger, which I love. So those chairs should be here, like, just actively getting some stuff together. Now, I think that's going to be my last purchase. Well, no, I'm going to get an entertainment center with a fireplace. That's going to be my last purchase for downstairs to kind of set the vibe. But that's going to be my last purchase for the house because I really want to take this wardrobe stuff serious. And I found the type of fashion that I'm into. It's called mid-size fashion. And so I like that type of style and athleisure. I'm always an athleisure girl. So I think those are the type of things that now I'm going to start putting together. Because if you remember, one of my goals for this year was my wardrobe. So yeah, just finding pieces. I found a few pieces on Fashion Nova. I don't know if when this episode comes out, if they'll still be on sale. It was a site-wide sale, I think 60 to 70% off. So I did get like 7 pieces, I think either 6 or 7 pieces for like $120 something. So that was really good. I really love that. So that should be here, I think, in the next couple weeks. So I'm just very curious. And I used to always be excited about fashion and always buy like tip top tier, pieces, and always go outside looking good, stepping good, always being asked, where do you think you're going? But now I just gotten so lazy and I really don't know what I like anymore. And so that's the type of, that's the wardrobe aspect, the fashion aspect that I'm trying to get back into, is like getting back to the point where I have different pieces to piece together, and I'm not always feeling like, oh, since I'm going out, I have to wear this. But I feel like I really don't have any going out clothes. Like even if I'm just stepping outside to like go to, a bar or something, whenever I am able to get back into that, after Kalia's born. So just things like that, things to lounge around in the house without always looking so dingy. Because y'all know I did say that another one of my goals was to always look put together. Now, this is my normal, routine: lashes, eyebrows, lips, my natural go-to to like look put together. But then I also need to figure out, what am I going to do with my hair? I need to wash my hair with these braids in. So it's been a while since I washed it. So I do need to wash my hair, wash my braids. But after I take it out, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I still have my maternity photo shoot to plan for. And I think I just want to do something low key and out the way instead of booking a whole studio and a photographer for $300 and something. So yeah, I got to figure, like, it's just so much. So trying to take things, as they come, and handle things in the capacity that I can handle them as they come along. So yeah, you guys, but I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you are, taking January by its head and steering this month into, kind of using this month as a template as to what you want the rest of the year to look like. And, if you're not able to do that this month, you always got next month, but don't make excuses. I know a lot of people will, make a mistake or not be consistent with something in January and be like, oh, okay, well, never mind. I always got next month. Once you keep that mentality, it's always going to be a tomorrow thing for you. And then tomorrow never comes. And then, it never happens for you. So, if you really want the change, if you really want, your life to look like whatever you want it to look like, make sure you are changing your environment and the daily things that you are doing to make sure that lifestyle fits the lifestyle that you are wanting. Okay, so yeah, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. I'm going to hopefully get some more episodes out of today, because there were some things that worked, there was some things that didn't work for me last week, and I just really have to have the time, energy. Like even right now I was kind of like low energy because I fell back asleep after my husband made me breakfast. But I just really want to make sure that I'm recording ahead of time, staying consistent. I have been consistent so far, so pat on the back for me, and just staying ahead of the ball game. So I love you guys. I will see you next week in next week's episode, and yeah, see you later. Peace. Thank you for tuning in to the Pretty Confident Podcast. Remember, confidence isn't about perfection. It's about embracing who you truly are. So until next time, stay bold, stay authentic, and stay pretty confident. Peace out.